Hey everyone, my name is Sandra Oriji, and I'll be taking us on today's class on Introduction to Git and GitHub. So in today's agenda, we're talking about command line, Git, GitHub, the difference between Git and GitHub, how to install Git, sign up a GitHub account, and then connect your Git to your GitHub account. Then we'll do a little demo. Okay, what is command line? Command line is a text-based user interface used to run programs, manage computer files, and interact with computer. With command lines, you can create a folder, create a file, change directory, move directory, rename files, delete files, and clear terminal screen. Let's try this out on how to do this. I'm using Git. So I just go to my search list and click Git. That's if you have already installed Git bash in your system. It's open. Now I want to check my current working directory. I use pwd. I'm in my root directory, but the folder I want to create should be in my desktop, not root directory. So I'll use cd -change directory to desktop. Okay, now as you can see, I'm now in my desktop. Okay, want to know what is in this desktop now? Want to list the files in this desktop. So we use ls. So these are the files in my desktop. But I'm not interested in these files. I want to create a new one. Like I said, I want to create my folder in my desktop. So I have to go into my desktop for directory to create this file. Now to create this file, I'll use make directory. That's texting. That's the file I want to create. Now the file is here. Now I want to go into this file, this folder I've created. I want to go into it. So how do I do this? I need to use cd. I want to work directly to the name of the folder I created. That's texting. Now I'm inside this directory. That's texting. Inside this folder, that's texting. So from here, I can do what I want to do with this folder. Now, the first thing I want to do is to create a file, not a folder. And I want to create a file inside this folder. Now, to create a file, use the keyword touch. And I want to create a text file. I want to create a text file inside this texting folder. Now, to create a text, I'll call the text file demo.txt. Now the file is created. Now to confirm if this file is actually created, let's go back to my texting. As you can see, the folder is created. The file is created. That's demo. It's a text document. Now I want to create more folders inside this folder, like a folder in a folder. I want to create more folder and more text file. First, I want to create a Python file. I use touch. Remember to create a file, use touch. I use hello.py. It's created. Now I want to create another 2 more folders. That's let me call it file 1, file 2. Remember to create a folder, use make directory, file 1. Make directory, file 2. Now inside this texting folder, I have 2 files and 2 folders. Let's confirm it. ls. I want to list all the files in this folder. As you can see, it has listed that I have demo, txt, I have file 1 folder, I have file 2 folder, and I have a Python folder. Okay, let's proceed. Now, next thing we are going to talk about is how to move. How we can use command line to move a file into a folder. Now I have this demo. I want to move this demo text to file 1. I want to move this hello.py to file 2. Now, which keyword should I use to move these items? I use the keyword mv. And the syntax is mv file name and folder name. The syntax is env, file name and folder name. Now, which file do I want to move demo? Demo.txt. In which folder? File 1. So to move this demo text to file 1 for folder, this is the syntax. env, file name and folder name. Click enter. Okay, it's done. Now let's check if this demo text is still in this texting folder. Remember to check all the files in your folder, use ls. That's the list. Now, as you can see, the demo text is no longer in texting directory. Remember, you moved it to file 1. Get. Now, another thing is I want to move hello.py to file 2. The syntax env, file name, folder name. Env, the file name is hello.py. And the folder name file 2. That's why I want to move it. It's done. Let's list it again. Now we don't have any other file here. We only have folders, file 1 and file 2. Now let's move forward. We want to rename this demo.ts. Like I said, with command line, you can create a folder, create a file, rename, move, and delete. But first, let's rename this demo.txt with command line. Now, to rename, what do? We use env. Env. Then old name to new name. Let's try it. We said old name is demo.txt. And the new name I want to give it is demos. Let's put s.txt. Done. Remember the syntax, env, old name, new name. Let's list and see if it's changed. Good, changed. As you can see, with command line, these are things you can do, and we have more things you can do with command line. Now let's go back to our texting folder. CD. Now I'm trying to go back, not forward. I'm trying to go back to where we were before. Now I'm going to use ... to go back to texting. CD ... We are back to texting. Let's check the items in texting. We still have file 1 and file 2. Now I want to remove a folder. I want to remove file 2. We use rm/r. That's remove name of the folder, file 2. Let's check. It's no longer there. Now to remove a file, you don't use rm, you use just rm and the name of the file. Now in texting, we only have one folder. Let's try out how to remove a file with file 1 rather, because that's the only folder remaining. Let's cd to that file to remove that folder inside, to remove that file inside it. Cd to file 1. Let's check if you're in. Good, we are in. Now I want to remove demo.txt. So I use rm, the name of the file. Let's check. It's empty. So we have empty folder. It's not empty. So that's how we can use command line to create a folder, create a file, move files, delete a folder, delete a file, and so on and so forth. There are so many things you can do with command line. Okay, we have seen how to create a folder, create a file, change directory, move files, rename files, delete files, clear terminal. We have done it. So, like you can see, we have so many command line. We have it's so many. So we want to clear it and start again. We want to clear this rough stuff here. So how do we do it? You have to clear our screen. So to clear the screen, use the command clear. You see everything is cleared. You just to clear your terminal screen. everything is out. Okay, let's move to Git. What is Git? It's an open source software used to track changes in our distributed version control system. Definitely, Git is open source software because you didn't pay for it. It's free for everyone. It's free for everyone. So it's used to track changes in our projects. Git works hand in hand with GitHub, and it's developed in 2015 by Linus Torvalds. Now, as time goes on, I will show you how you can use Git to track changes in your projects. Like you're working on a project with someone to track changes. I will show you can use Git to do that. Now, GitHub is a hosting provider and version control platform used to collaborate on open source projects and share files. Like you have a project you're working on now, and you have like 4 people working on that project. With GitHub, you can, contribute, collaborate, and share the files. When I'm done with my own work, I push the code, and now the maintainer will now merge the code into the project you are working on. Now, what's different between Git and GitHub? Like I said, Git is a version control system that we use to track our code. Then GitHub, on the other hand, is a service that lets you host, share, and manage your code on the internet. For the first time, when you download your Git and you sign up to GitHub, you can't just start working on Git. You can't just start working on Git and GitHub just like, no. You have to connect the two together so that whatever you are doing here is affecting whatever you're doing in GitHub. You have to connect the two together. Now, personally, I have connected mine. Let me show you. Let me start Git. Okay. Now I've created mine. How do I confirm this? Let me use git config global username user.name. Now this is my GitHub username. So that shows that I've connected my Git to my GitHub. So if you try this out and it's showing you error or any other message, that means I'm not connected your Git to your GitHub. Then what should you do? Simple, to set up your Git, to connect your Git to GitHub, simple use this. You type git config / global user.name, then your username, that's your GitHub username. Let me show you my GitHub. Now this is my username. 92/control/CLTS. So that's how you get your Git username. So with this, you connect it to, you have to connect your username. So this is how to get your username from GitHub. So remember to put your username in a apostrophe, like in this thing. Put it there. So you just like use this apostrophe to colon. That is called semicolon as well. To type in your username. That's to configure your username. Then to confirm if you're successful, just type this git config username to confirm if you're successful. Next, you set your email address. The email address is to put your GitHub. So that's what you have to put here. Git config user.name. Remember here is for username, you use user.name. So for email address, you use user.email to set your email address. So when you are done this, that means you are set. Remember to confirm if you have done all this, use git config global username, and then use git config global user.email. Now, our demo will be creating a repo in GitHub. Then we create a folder on our local computer with a README file we can use our command line of VS Code, one that works for us. Then we push this folder we created to GitHub. Well, we're going to talk about how to clone a GitHub repo, make changes locally, create a branch, create a pull request, push the changes, merge the branch on GitHub, and then how to put changes on GitHub. These are things we'll talk about as we go on. Okay, now let's go to our GitHub. Okay, this is my home. This is my home for GitHub. So that probably your own might be different from mine. So I want to create a repo. I'll click here. Go to your repository. That's how I do mine. There are other ways you can create a repo, like go to your home directly and click here, this plus, new repository. I think I don't know why I have this habit of going through my profile to create a repo, but that's how I do it. But the other way you can do it, just click here, you see new repo and create. So I'll go to this create new repo. So we call this testing Gits. Yeah. So testing Gits. Let's not initialize README. We create a README from our local branch. Just be create. Now we have created our repository. Now, let me close this. Minimize. I want to use this file. Good. Okay, Git back. I want to save it to my desktop. Let's see what is inside. Okay, CD to texting. Let me play my screen. So we have an empty folder here. So I want to create a file, a README file. So what should I type? I want to create a README file. What command should I use? Good touch, use touch to create the file. TOUCH, read me dot. Oh, sorry, that's a mistake. I need to delete that. So how do I delete this file I've created now wrongly? Let's check that's also there. Okay. Yeah. Sarah, yeah, right. So I want to delete that this README file I created. ROM rather. Would have deleted it. And let me create my good. I've created my review. Good, good, good. Okay, what next? I need to initialize this folder to be a Git folder, because if I try to work on this now, it will not show anything because this folder is not a Git folder. Now look at the instruction given here when I created that. When I created my repo, it said initialize. I have to initialize this folder so that it will be a Git folder. How do I do that? To use git init rather. Now I've done that. Look at how my folder looks like now. It has Git inside it. But prior to this time, it doesn't have this Git file. It doesn't have this Git file. So that's how you can do that. So now this my folder is now a Git. Okay. What next? Remember, we need to add this file we created to Git. So look at the instruction. I say we should add this README file. So we say Git add name of the file README. So remember, if your README is small letter, that's your R. So if I use small letter, my own is big capital letter. So that's why I'm using capital letter. .md. Let's check Git status. I would have done Git status for added, so you can see how it looks like. It's added. So before I made a mistake, I would have added Git status first before I would have checked first before adding it. So before I added this README, and even I checked for Git status, it should have shown me, it should have shown this new file to be read, which means that it has not been added already. But now it's added, it's showing green. Difference between to create a folder, we use make directory, and to create a file, we use touch. That's in Git. So if you have to use command prompt, that's a different ball game together. So to create a file, we use mkdir, that's make directory. Then to create a file, we use touch. Yeah. Okay, let's commit Git /m-n. That's the message. And then the message you want to pass, let's just say first commit. Okay. Adding README. Good. Check the status. Good. Okay, we have done that. Now we have to add our report to Emit. Copy this link. We say git remote add origin. Then I have to paste the link. Enter. Done. So as we are going, as we proceed, we understand what this git add means. So let's push. I'll type this, but it will do an error. But we'll correct it. It should tell me master main here, but I'm using master. But let me just follow through. Okay, now it's showing me error. Let's try again. It should master. Remember, in my master here, it's showing master, not main. Okay, it's done. So let me refresh. Okay, my README file is here. So my branch name is called master. So that's why I changed it to master, not main. So I don't know what yours is. So check what yours is there, whether it's main or master. Remember, it's showing here as master in my Git. So yours should be showing main as the branch, but mine is showing master. So can check yours. Okay, let's proceed. Now I want to pull. Why do we pull? Pull is, for example, you made a change in your remote repo, and you want it to reflect in your local branch. Let me explain. Now I want to go to this my README file. I want to add something in this my GitHub, in this my README. You know, it was empty, it was an empty file. So I want to add something there. I'm using markdown command. So it's more like I want to make this bold. Okay, I made this edit in GitHub, not in my in what's it called, in my local branch in GitHub. That's in my remote server. So I have to commit changes, click, update read.me. You see, I can change this message, but I like it that this way. Update read.me. So if I'm doing this in Git, I'll use git commit slash message hyphen, then so not hyphen, apostrophe, then you can column, and then I start writing my commit message. But GitHub is just giving it to me like that. I'm done. So now look at my Git, look at my README file. It has it has the message now, texting Git and GitHub, introduction to Git and GitHub. Now, how did I add this message? Let me go back to my repo, texting.git. I clicked on README. You see this icon, this pencil icon. Edit this, so I just click and edit, and then commit the changes. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, now I have added some things in my README file. Okay, let's go. I have to copy this. Like I said, I have made changes here. If you go to my local branch, this README is empty. There's nothing in it. How do I know? Let me open it. As you can see, I've opened it in my VS Code. It's empty. There's nothing in it. But if you go to the one in my remote server, if you go to the one in my remote server, there is this thing there. You get. So let's update that. Oh, my battery is down. Oh God. Let's see how we can do this. You go back here. Okay, what you have to do is to fetch this, what is in my remote server to my local branch. How to do that? You just git fetch origin. Remember, it's master, not main. So if your own is master, if your own is main, you can put main. Okay, I'm done. Let's check the status. Now you said your branch is behind by 1 because I have this item I added that I have not committed and kind of. So how do I do this? No, I'll use merge, to merge what is in my what's it called, remote server to my local branch. I'll use git merge. I don't want to use git merge. Origin / master. So now I'm trying to get what is in my remote server to be in my local branch. Enter. Good. Now it has updated the README file. 1 file changed. So let's do git pull and see what it says. Already up to date. So by merging what is in my remote server by using git merge, I've already achieved the pull. Okay, let's check if actually it's that. So have you seen it? It's back. Look at it now. So what is in my remote server is now, I've updated it in my local branch.